New Year's mean New Year's resolutions, and New Year's resolutions mean not following through with them. So in this video, I want to share 3 simple tips that will help you stick to your New Year's resolutions. So normally you see this kind of videos of reinventing yourself or sticking to New Year's resolutions normally around the end of December or the beginning of January. But I wanted to make this video 10 days into 2021 because I wanted to find those people who are still sticking to their New Year's resolutions after 1 week. So if you're watching this, you're the special ones. Give yourself a clap because you can do it and you can go through your resolutions this year. You have to stick to it, and I hope you can by following these 3 simple tips. So before I go on to the 3 simple tips, I'll be looking back at 2020, what went right and what went wrong. And if you're watching this, I'll also suggest you to do it yourself. So if you're here for the tips, please skip to this part where I talk about the 3 tips, but at the beginning of the video, I'll be looking back at my 2020. My 2020 went rather well in spite of the pandemic. So I was among the lucky bunch whose life didn't get affected that much by the pandemic because I was living in a small city in Japan. So we didn't have that many cases and my life wasn't impacted a lot. And I have to say I'm really lucky for that. I'm thankful. But in 2020, I set some goals and I'm glad that I could go forward and accomplish all those goals, almost all except one. So the ones that went well, the first one is running. So 2020 was the first year that I took up running as a hobby, as a lifestyle change, and that was the best decision I made. So in 2020 I started running in February. I started with running 1 hour every day for 30 days as a challenge. I did 27 days every single day, and now I'm still running. It's January. I just did 6 kilometers yesterday in the cold minus temperatures, and I feel great. That has been one of the best decisions I have made in my life. And if you're someone who's watching this and you want to make one lifestyle change this year, you might think about doing running as a hobby because it's amazing. It changes your whole life, and I'm not saying it for saying. I have seen the changes myself throughout 2020, and now I love running, and I hope I can continue running throughout my life until I can run. The second thing that went really well in 2020 was doing 12 challenges in 12 months. So I got this idea from Matt D'Avella. I'm pretty sure you know him and his YouTube channel. So he did this challenge, I think back in 2018, when he did 1 month challenges every month. So I was thinking, why not I take up those challenges so that I can find out if I can do them and what I can learn from them. So it wasn't similar to him completely. It was just setting some goals for a month and finding out if I can do them. So I started with trying to use less plastic. Then I did the running challenge, and I kept on making challenges for myself that would push me and that would help me learn something about myself. And I completed 12 of those, and I think 2 to 3 of those I couldn't complete perfectly, but almost all of them helped me learn a lot about myself and about things I'm interested in. So I would suggest anyone, if you are trying to find out about yourself, do these small challenges 30 days and try to stick to them and find out what you can learn from them. If you look at my Instagram, I updated every month throughout 2020 about those challenges. So follow me on Instagram and you can find out all those updates. And the third thing about 2020 that went really well was, as I said, staying on my goals. So I had goals of clearing my debt. I had goals of getting my driver's license, buying my very first car, and being financially stable. So those things were my core goals for 2020. And I even had a notepad where every day I wrote that I have to save in 2020, to clear my debt. Every day I used to write 10 times. I did that for 5 to 6 months, and it imprinted this thought in my mind that I have to manage my expenses. I have to be smarter with my expenses and do better. And that helped me stay on my goals, especially on my financial goals. And thankfully, I have been able to do all those goals in 2020. So those were the 3 key things that went right in 2020. But as you know, it wasn't a great year. There were a lot of tough situations for everyone, including me. And yes, the pandemic didn't affect me like everyone else, but it did hinder some of my plans. So some of the bad points of 2020 was my parents couldn't visit me. So I haven't seen my parents for more than 2 years. So living in a foreign country, you do miss family and you miss that familiar environment. So my parents were planning to visit me last year December, but as you know, COVID happened and they couldn't come. So that was something I was expecting. I was planning to take them around the city I live in, but I never could do that. And the second thing that didn't go that well was not being able to get more clients for my freelance work. So I do have a full-time job, but on weekends I used to do freelance work. So I used to do that while I was in my final year of undergrad studies, but after I graduated, started my job, I wanted to get more clients in weekends. And I started to get clients in 2019 December. I got a big client. I did a lot of content for them, but then my goal I even printed business cards, and my goal for 2020 was to get more clients. Like, I had an Excel sheet, I had my business cards 100 printed. I wanted to give them away, give them to restaurants and places to make video content for them, but it never happened. I had one client, like a kimono shop. That was the first client of the year. I was planning to make video for them, but then COVID happened, cases increased in that area, and they canceled the shoot. And after that, I really couldn't focus on getting clients because it was too risky for me to go out and find clients. So that was another bad part of 2020. But overall, looking back at 2020, I had a lot to learn. I made a lot of lifestyle changes in a small amount of time, 12 months, and I'm proud of making those changes and learning from them and taking them forward to 2021. So that was how my 2020 went, and please let me know in the comments below how your 2020 was. What were the high points, what were the low points, because it's really important to do this kind of reflections so that you can look back, learn, and then look forward. So if you have come through till this part, you're here for the 3 simple tips. So I'll be sharing those 3 simple tips that will help you stick to your goals. Thanks for coming to this part of the video. So the first tip is to break your goals down. So don't try to do life-changing big goals in a year. And even if you do make big goals, try to break them down into actionable steps every single month or week. The big problem with goals or resolutions and people not sticking with them is that they're daunting. Looking at 365 days later at your goals, it's going to seem really hard to stick to them. But if you make a goal and break it down month by month, then week by week, you will have something to look forward to every single week or day or month. And in that way, it will be easier for you to stay motivated to go to your goals and go through with them. So whatever goals or plans you have for the year, no matter how many or how less you have, break them down, make them into actionable steps for the day, the month, the week, and you'll be able to stick to them easier compared to just having a goal of like, I don't want to eat burgers for this whole year, and then you eat burger on the first day. That was me in 2019. So yeah. The second thing is know your limits. So if you're someone who's not disciplined enough, if you're someone who's not good at sticking with goals, don't set like 3, 4, 5 goals if you see other people setting those goals, because you need to know your limits and how much you can do yourself. It's not same for everyone. For me, in the past, I couldn't focus on many goals, but in 2020 I was able to focus on 3 to 5 goals in a single year, and I could do that, so I set some more goals for this year. But if you're someone who has a hard time keeping discipline, like, make short goals. No need to make big ones just like everyone else. You need to know how much you can do, and knowing your limits is really important. In that way, you can be more effective with the goals you set. So firstly, look at your habits, look at how you are as a person, and set goals based on your own personality. Don't look at what other people are doing, because in that way you might get overwhelmed, because the goals I shared in 2020 might be a lot for a lot of people, might be a less for other people, but it was the one that was the right fit for me. So find your fit and make your goals and know your limits. The last tip is to give yourself a break. This is really important when it comes to goals, habits, or resolutions, because we can be really hard on ourselves when we have to stick to goals. A lot of people don't give themselves a break, and that's why people don't stick to resolutions. In the first week, suppose you make a mistake and then you are too hard on yourself, you hate yourself, and then you just break the resolution and you continue to do what you want to do. But you need to accept those mistakes, because it's a long time, 365 days, you're going to make mistakes, but you need to keep moving on. If you hit a wall, don't stop. You have to keep on moving with your goals in mind. So keep in mind that no matter how simple the goals are, you might make mistakes and you will fall back, but you need to move forward. You need to learn from what went wrong and just move forward with your goals. Never let making mistakes stop you from going with your resolutions. Like, if you have a resolution, for example, I had a resolution of not using plastic for a whole year last year, and I did buy some plastic bottles. I didn't buy the single-use plastic bottles. At the beginning, my challenge was to not use any plastic bottles, but some things I couldn't stop from buying, like oil or some products that came in plastic bottles that I couldn't avoid. And I gave myself a break. I said, okay, since I can't do that, let's just focus on plastic, single-use plastic bottles of liquids, drinking, soft drinks, and stuff like that. And that's how I modified my goals. So you need to also think about your goals like that. Like, you might fall back, you might make a mistake, you might miss a day, and it's fine. Just keep on continuing and learning from mistakes, and at the end of the year you will feel really good that you stuck to your goals, because a lot of people don't do it because of this one thing. They are too hard on themselves. So those were the 3 tips that will help you on your journey to stick to your New Year's resolutions. And in this part of the video, I'll talk about my New Year's resolutions of 2021. So if you're not interested, you can switch off now and start working on your goals. But if you are, please keep on watching. And in the comments, let me know your resolutions and what helps you stick to your resolutions and what works for you. So let's look at mine. So the first resolution or first goal of 2021 that I have is working on my social media addiction. So last year I did a social media detox in June, where I stopped using any kind of social media. It was great. I felt really good, but I am dependent on some social media for making my content and connecting with people. But when I looked at my data, I saw that most of my time went on using Facebook, and it wasn't like productive uses. Most of it was like random scrolling and doing nothing. So for that reason, in order to control my social media usage for this year, I'm quitting Facebook completely. So I'll not be using Facebook for a whole year. I'll just be focusing on Instagram, YouTube, and also just Messenger for communicating with my friends. And that's a tough decision for me, because being far away from my friends and family, most of my friends and family are on Facebook. So being connected with them was one way I was social. But now it's hard for me since I'm not on Facebook. It's been 10 days. Yeah, 10 days, and it's been tough, but I'm getting there. So I miss the part of communicating with my friends and family, but I have Messenger just to text with them, but I can't see their feed. But I don't miss the time I wasted. I have a lot more time now to read, make videos, or do my own stuff. So that has been good. So that's goal number 1, to not open my Facebook for a whole year. The second one is improving my photography with 365 photo challenge. So this is one challenge I saw from YouTuber That Icelandic Guy. Thank you very much for sharing your challenge. I already texted him on Instagram thanking him. He didn't see it yet. I hope he does. But if you're watching this, thank you. Your challenge helped me get motivated and start my own challenge to do it this year. So the challenge is to take a photo or edit a photo I took in the past and upload it on Instagram every single day. So one photo specifically where I'll try to improve my photography skills. So I started doing videos in 2016, and I didn't learn it from the basics. I just picked up my camera with my friend and started learning. I started editing first and then started learning videography, but I never went through the basics. So this year I'm trying to go back to basics and especially start with photography, because I am not good at photos. So I'll be trying to take a photo every single day or edit a photo I took in the past and upload on Instagram. So if you are interested in photography, join my journey on Instagram. You can follow it here, and I hope if you want, you can join the challenge too. So don't be too stressed like you have to take a photo every day. I wanted to do that, but with my job and everything, I can't take a photo every single day, but I can edit a photo that I took in the past, because I took a lot of photos last year that I didn't upload it. So I'm doing those and also trying to take more photos when I can. I'm also trying to go back to the basics of photography, learn about composition, learn about different ways to take photos, and follow the basic principles, going back to the basics. And I hope doing this every single day will help me get better at photography, which will help me get better at my videos. So that's goal number 3. And goal number 2, sorry. For 3, it's about saving money. So last year it was about clearing my debt and doing investments on myself, like getting the license and the car and improving my setup. But for this year, my goal is to save money, because my plan is to travel for a whole year sometime in 2023 or 2024. So for that 1 year of travel, I'm starting to save from this year. So if for someone who's interested in travel too, start saving early and make a plan. So I have a plan, and for this whole year I have a specific amount of money that I want to save, and that's goal number 3. And the last one, it's like a meta goal, not like a main goal. It's just like to follow, is like keep on working out. So I started going to the gym last month. and I want to continue doing that and also continue my running. I want to become healthier, and last year I lost a ton of weight. I'm not gonna share that. I'll share that in a other video where I talk about my weight loss journey. But yeah, I want to get healthier. I want to keep on doing exercises, keep on sharing this love of running through my Instagram, and continue working out. So yeah, those were my 3 goals for 2021, and that one small goal. And this might be a lot for some people, this might be less for other people, but I want to stick to those and keep on improving myself throughout 2021. Okay, that was a really long video. I hope those 3 tips can help you out, because they definitely helped me in 2020 to stick to my goals. And I think I blabbered a lot more than I wanted to, but I hope you enjoyed the video, learning about my goals and talking about my goals and then sharing the tips. But I really want to know your goals, like what are your goals? If I can help out in some way, I would love to help out, and let me know some tips that help you out to stick to your goals, because I'm not perfect. I do make mistakes. I do have to change and modify my goals. We are all here to share each other's experience, and that's why I make my videos and everything public. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. If you want to follow my working out and photo journey, please follow me on my Instagram. If you like my videos, subscribe to the channel. Wait for my other videos. I'll be uploading a lot more this year, and I'll see you in the next video.